So just because we're now clicking record, because we were like catching up just before, we are on to day 16 now, aren't we? I keep forgetting what day we're on. Day 16. And we were just sort of catching up about Maria's images and listings and errors that, Amazon like to put in our way, or challenges, I suppose. So just a few more of you joining us. I think most of you have come in now. So yeah, I know obviously the last couple of days we have shared the launch and marketing stuff. So this has been our first live for a couple of days for you to get your questions answered. But before we get in deeper with some of the questions, because I know you've all got different things that you've been posting in the group regarding listings, shipping labels, error messages, all sorts of different things. I just wanted, because obviously yesterday I put in a video about Amazon advertising and the day before about your launch. I just wanted to kind of bring all of that together, because some of you, I think probably like half of you that are on this call have sent in stock, or if not, have got your shipping label and you're in the process of sending it off. So what's going to happen is when your product arrives in Amazon, I think I mentioned this before, but just for clarity, you will get an email to say that they've received your goods. You'll also get a second email to say that it's now live. As soon as you get that first email, and if you are sending it in and you've got a tracking ID, just keep an eye on that tracking so you can see what it's like. Because you may see that Amazon have received it, but you haven't had that email yet, and it's just processing, especially around Black Friday and Christmas. It's always a lot busier. So don't panic if you see that it's been signed for, but you haven't had that email yet. Give it, 24, 48 hours. So you'll get those two emails. Now, in normal months, I tend to get sometimes get those two emails in the same day. At the moment, it may be spaced out, but because we're not sending in hundreds of stock, it will be a lot quicker than if you were sending in hundreds, So you'll get an email to say that they've received your stock, and then you just want to check your listing, which you can do if you go into your inventory and just click on your title. It'll take you straight to your listing, which some of you may have already done, and you'll be able to see if it's got the Prime logo on there, and it says, and you can see that it's available, as in you can see that you can add to basket, it's live. Don't panic if you notice that it says one available in your listing or in the back office of your Seller Central, because what Amazon tries to do is quickly get a couple out on the shelf as they're unpacking it. So you'll see that, say you've sent in 30 units, you'll see it might show up as like one available or 5 available, because they do this when they're busy. But then if you click down on that available part in your Seller Central, it will say it says 5 available and you've sent in 30, it'll have 25 in reserved. Because what they do is they distribute amongst their own fulfillment centres so that they've got product in different parts of the country, so that when you do get orders, it costs them less to ship out from different geographies. So they move stock around. So if you suddenly sell those 5, you'll see that another 5 will become available. More stock will come available. So just don't panic if you think, I've sent in 30, there's only 1 available. They're busy and we'll just start unpacking stuff. So
can I just ask you a quick question about that?
Yeah.
Two of my listings went active this afternoon, and they're 2 that I posted in yesterday using the UPS Amazon service. I didn't get them to come and collect. I took the parcels to a drop-off point. And they went live this afternoon, and I can find them in Amazon. But when I'm in Seller Central, it's saying none available and 20 inbound, but they are live. Is that just their admin catching up?
Yeah, it will. It will. If you can go on your listing and like add it to the basket, then it's live. It's just their logistics side, as I say, because they're so busy unpacking it all.
Yeah, because I sent 2 other things a couple of days ago, and I sent them with Royal Mail with Parcel Force. Parcel Force say they've both been delivered, but Amazon are not showing them as received yet.
That's interesting, because normally it's the other way around. Normally Amazon this time of year take a bit longer, but it's more on the pickup. So probably because you did the drop off, they've got it in their hands, or it's arrived and they're waiting for orders, and then they'll prioritize whoever's getting the orders if that listing is active. So it's just a matter of
order it then. Is that the
say that again?
I need to get someone to order it.
Yeah, I would test that. So one thing on that note is I want to make it really clear, because I always assume that people know these things, is do not order your own product. It's a massive big no-no, because Amazon will see it. I mean, I think it's an obvious thing, but some people do order their own product, and I think I'm like, don't do it, because your account could just literally just get shut down overnight. They take that really seriously. And also any husbands or children, anybody in your address, because Amazon track your IP Wi-Fi address. So they will see it as that you're trying to fraudulate their system by ordering it and then giving yourself a review. So you just got to make sure you don't. If you want your own product, I would just get a friend to order it. Or you can do a manual order in your own account to yourself, but just take it as it's a big no-no for you or anybody at your address or anybody that's directly related to you in your family to order that product. And if you have
family members that don't live with you, like like siblings that live in the same town but a completely different address, all that kind of thing.
You can, but sometimes if they give you a review, if they've got the same surname as you,
no, they won't have.
But if they just so you know, if they put a connection to you, they just won't allow that review to show. So it's not like a big no-no. Say like your brother or sister or someone you knew, or you like say your son lived in a different town, but they see that there's a connection, so there's a bias for that review. They've also been doing things like checking Facebook friends and all sorts of stuff. But I mean, we in my group, we review each other's product. We just want to make sure that the same people are not reviewing each product. So you just want to. They're really particular about the reviews, because people, set up these big groups giving away products for reviews, and it's really against their terms of service, because they're really protective on them, because they want the reviews to be genuine. But of course, when you launch, it's great to get your friends and family to order it. Just be aware that you just don't want any kind of the main no-no is somebody in your own household ordering it. So my mum,
I've got different relatives that live in the same town, and some have got the same surname, because I was wondering about that. But that should possibly be all right then. But it's more on the reviews. I can sort of see that with the reviews.
Yeah. So this was another thing that I wanted to talk about, is that when we're trying to get sales, you'll have seen from the launch, and this also, I said to you, Corinne, before, books works the same way. So I know you've got a book that's about to be launched. There's two things that you need to have with selling anything on any e-commerce platform, whether it's your website, Etsy, eBay, Amazon. We talk about traffic and conversion. So traffic comes from the keyword part of it. So that's why we've focused on keywords the whole time in this sort of 18-day challenge, because keywords helps you get discovered. It's the Amazon SEO to everything. Now, we can also do paid ads to boost that discovery and that traffic basically to your listing. But you don't want to be relying on ads to do it all. If you are, it means that you've not done the keyword process quite right, because that first step is getting your product to be found or your book to be found, and that's the traffic part. So that's all about the keywords in your title, in your all in your listing. Then the second part of it is conversion. So once someone clicks on it, they're interested. But it's a really quick decision, as you probably know when you're shopping for stuff. You click on things, don't you? And we make that millisecond decision and it's sometimes just subconscious. We just literally click on something. It might be the price that puts us off. It might be the reviews. There might not be many reviews, or it may just be like the images. So images and reviews help that conversion into a sale. Because sometimes people are like, I've done all the keywords right, I'm getting the clicks, but I'm not getting the sale. And that comes from all of that image part and review part. And that's why, obviously, we talked about having like your second and third image of the lifestyle images, so that people straight away are like, oh yeah, I can imagine myself using this product. And you've got some really impactful messages on your images, because initially you're not going to have any reviews. And so that's why in my launches, I have like groups of people that can order my product instantly. And what we also want to do in the algorithm is have that uplift in sales. So imagine, like when Nike launch a new pair of trainers, or Apple launch a new mobile phone, they've done all of this they've done all this marketing everywhere online, haven't they? Like even sometimes offline and online. So this new iPhone, what are we on now? 14, 15? I can't even think, because I haven't got a latest one. But the new pair of Nike Air Jordans, as my son are obsessed with, are coming out, and we all know that product's coming out. So everybody rushes on the day of launch to order it, and you have that uplift of sales, and that impact of that uplift of sales does it really well. So what we want to do is mimic that in our small way, because we're not obviously big Nike, Apple brands. We pick the day that we're going to launch. So when your product goes live, obviously at the moment we want to do it straight away. But for instance, Corinne, with your book, what you want to do is, you don't just want a dribble of sales where you're like asking people over a few days. You want to make sure it all happens over a 24, 48-hour period, so that you get that uplift of sales. So what you want to do is kind of get a handful of people. Obviously, we're talking, when I'm sending in 200 or 300 units, I might get like 10 to 20 people to order it in a 24-hour period. You guys aren't going to do that, because that's all your stock gone. But you want to kind of get a handful of people to order it. It might be like 2 or 3 people, get an uplift, but keep them all for a 24-hour period, rather than getting someone to order it on a Friday, someone else on a Saturday, someone on a Monday. Get them all together and get them all to order it on the same day.
So sort of 4 or 5 people is sort of okay all at once.
Yeah,
type of
that's
thing.
perfect. That's perfect.
Okay.
If they order it like on a 24-hour period. And the other thing that so what I was going to say to you is that if you've got, I don't know everybody's background as regards to like online marketing. Some of you are brand new to selling online. But if you have got a following of some kind, so if you've got a Facebook group, if you're doing something on your Instagram, or you've got a community or following that is suitable for the product that you're launching. So, for example, if you are a yoga instructor and you've already got a group of people, that's ideal if you're launching a yoga mat, isn't it? That you could express to people. Now, with some of you from Entrepreneurs Tea, I know that I made the mistake in the past of saying, share your product in Entrepreneurs Tea, and then I got a big slap off Emma and the team because obviously they don't really want everyone pitching products all the time, because they want their community to be really asking questions about what you're building. Obviously sharing how you could share in there, I've just launched my product on Amazon, I'm so excited, in the last 2 weeks I've learned all this stuff, kind of thing. And then someone might say, oh, what is it? And then in the comments you could probably say, but you don't want to be posted in there like a pitch to say, I've just launched my product, can I get some sales? Because if everybody did that, then the group would just become a bit of a pitching group. And it's the same with people doing courses and coaching stuff. And that's why Emma and the team always do like little posts saying, promote your product day, I think, or something, don't they? They do different times when you can pitch. So just be a bit careful on that. But I also think it's quite good just to sort of share your journey, because then someone might, I think actually Emma's done one about Black Friday. I think she's done a post about sharing your products on Black Friday, but just sort of have a bit of awareness around that. So if you have got a community, it's a good way to share something. But what I do is I don't share the link, because if you think about this whole traffic and conversion thing, think deeper about it. Remember, the keywords and any paid ads you do bring the traffic in, bring the people in to click. And what Amazon's algorithm wants to see is that someone clicks and buys. And ideally, we call it search, find, buy. So someone will search a keyword like, yoga mat for women with a bag, find that product, and then buy that product. If you're getting lots of clicks because you've shared your link in a group or on social media, and people don't buy because they're being nosy, like your friends and family, like, oh, what's she up to now? Or, oh, let's have a look at this. I was thinking about doing Amazon. Let's see what product it is. And they don't buy, what do you think is going to happen? Basically, you're going to move, or if you're like on page 2 or 3 for that keyword, you're going to move to page 8 or 9, because Amazon's algorithm tells it that you've got people clicking on it, but they're not buying. So there's something wrong with your conversion. So what I do is I share a picture of the product. Now, you wouldn't want to do this in Entrepreneurity, but I'm just saying generally, if you're going to share it on social media, I share a picture, and then I get people to, so I'm in like quite a lot of Facebook groups for different interests of products that I sell. So if you're, say, in a group for mums and you launch for mums, or you're in a group around, vegan recipes, and you're sharing something to do with vegan accessories, kitchen or something like that, something that's appropriate, I would share a picture of it and say that I've got I've launched a product and there's currently a discount on. If anybody's interested, let me know. So I'm getting that potential customer, I'm warming them up, because I don't want them just to click straightly on a link to have a nosy. I want people to be like, oh, I'm really interested in that, and then give them the link. Does that make sense? So I sometimes do ads off Amazon where it's a landing page where it might say £3 off this item for the next 24 hours, but people have got to give me their email address to get that coupon code. And the reason I do it, because a lot of people get put off by stuff like that, because like, I don't want to give my email address. The reason I do it is that I know that if they do give me their email address, they're really keen to get that product. So you want to warm people up. You basically don't want to just throw it out into cold traffic, if that makes sense. Because what you can do is do the opposite effect. I had a guy that I was working with that was doing really well. He was like #1 spot, and then he shared it. I shared the link on Facebook, and he dropped massively overnight. So just sort of understand that as well, it's just all these little tips, because we get really excited, we want to share it with everybody. So just share the picture and ask for people to comment if they, interested in the offer or interested in buying the product. And then you can private message them, or you can also put the link on the comments. I wrote some notes because there was just a few things, because obviously I've shared some videos. So I've talked about our following community, keywords and images and reviews, ads supercharge that. And also I've talked about, I have a sale price all year round on all my products. I also have coupon codes and vouchers all the time as well. So in your seller account, in the advertising menu, you will see there's a tab called vouchers. And it's very easy and straightforward. It just asks you which product you want to put a voucher code on. I tend to do money off rather than discount, because I want to make it as easy as possible for customers to work it out. Because you know what it's like. If you say 20% off, you're like, oh, what is that? And you've got to try and work it out in your head. Oh, I think that's like £3 something. Whereas if you see £3 off, it's £3 off. So I always do money off rather than discount. And you can create these little voucher codes. So even if you just do £1 off, what it means is it highlights in Amazon, when you, in fact, maybe if I can show you this, if you go onto Amazon, Let me share my screen. Can you see Christmas wreaths? Should be able to. So if we scroll down here now, the page is stuck. So can you see these badges, these red Black Friday? These badges. This is what the voucher codes do. So they highlight. In fact, all of these have got offers on. Well, actually, these two haven't, have they? These are actually Black Friday deals, which you get offered once you've been a seller for a while, and they come into your account, and they'll say, "Do you want to do a Black Friday deal?" The vouchers come like that, so you get a green badge. You know, it says save 8%. But like I say, I wouldn't have save 8%. This looks like a very poor listing because I've got a 1-star review, and they're doing a sponsored ad. I'd have like, I mean, you see, look, 8%. I'm thinking, oh, hold on, 10% is £2.10. 8% must be like £1. You know, you're trying to work it out in your head, make it easy. They've even got say 5% on 4 qualified items. No one's doing the money off, are they? But I always do the money off just to make it easier. So you can see there's a lot that haven't got it, but customers, especially on Black Friday weekend, will be looking for the Black Friday deals. And actually, this one's also got save. It's got a Black Friday deal and it's a save 5%. So you want to get these voucher codes on, which, as I say, you go into your advertising tab and go to voucher.
Would that work the same with books, Anna?
Oh, actually, good point. Good point. You can't do vouchers with books. You used to be able to, but you can't do them now. I don't even know why. But everything else applies the same.
Was Nikisha, she recommended to put it on as a price and then up it after a bit when there was,
Good point. That's another thing that I do. So if I'm going to be selling something at £19.99, I might launch it for the first 48 hours, especially if I'm like asking a couple of people to get it for me. I might launch it at like £16 or £17.99. Just for that first period, because the main thing is you want orders. The more orders you get, I might spend on advertising and break even in that first week, because the orders is going to build that momentum for you long term. But remember what we're doing here. We've got to be, a lot of us are launching Christmas products that are going to sell anyway, aren't they? So, if you've got 200 units, you may decide, right, 10 to 20 items of it, I'm going to like break even on, and I'm going to go in at a really low price. But when you've only got sort of 20, 30 units of something, you're going to probably sell out over this next couple few weeks before Christmas anyway. So it just depends, because some of you might be doing products that you want to carry on next year. So it just also depends on that product. You might want it to go for the best start, so then you can start getting more of that product and continuing it. So I hope that makes sense. Ask me any questions around that. And also let me now know where you're all at, because I know some of you, like Marie, has been doing her photos and getting a shipping label ready. Your Amazon barcode will never change for that listing. It'll always be that same barcode. Your shipping label, it often says on your listing that the product's inactive because it's not live yet. It's not active until the stock arrives. So it doesn't mean there's an error. It's only if it says suppressed that there's an error. So yeah, let me know where you're at and any questions. I know we've
Anna, can I just ask what you were saying there about the voucher? So if my Christmas bundle is going to be £34.99, but if I wanted to create a voucher maybe for £2 off or something, so you can just go and that'll bring up the wee, so I can put on my price £34.99, but then I can put on a wee voucher so that it would show up where the price would be then £32.99 and the £34.99 would be scored out.
It will show £34.99, but underneath, you know, those little green highlights that I showed.
Yes.
It will show £2 off.
All right. Okay.
It will still have the price as £34.99. Now, the great thing as well, got to mention, is that when people click into your listing, so if we go back, let me share my screen again. If we go back to those, it's easier just to show you by sharing. So if I click into, which one has just got a basic one on? Like this one, well, let's go into this shitty one. Before. Make the listing even worse because I'm not going to buy it. Can you see here? It's got voucher, and I have to tick that box. Now, a lot of customers forget. So it's, again, you know, it's in that subconscious buying mode or mindset. The green is like putting, I see it as like a big green highlighter on your listing. People come in and just add to basket and they forget to tick that box. If they don't tick that box, they don't claim the voucher.
Yeah. Now,
Amazon do charge you, which is a bit of a rip-off, for every voucher that a customer claims. It's 40 or 45 pence, I think now. So you have to bear that in mind. If you're doing like £1 off, it's going to cost you £1.45.
Okay.
Bear that in mind in your numbers.
I'm just thinking if it's maybe slow, just maybe sell at the start and maybe just about dropping the price or something.
Yeah, it's good to go off with a bang. Now, it doesn't mean when it's live, you've got to panic and do something that day. You just choose what day is going to be your sort of like launch day. But you want it. Or
would you be better putting it in straight away with a voucher on, or just seeing how it goes for a day or two, and then if it's slow,
I always have voucher on that just highlights it. So
yeah,
even if it's just £1, you do.
Okay, and just with the price, when I look on, because obviously my stock isn't in, but when I look on my seller center, when I click on, you know, to view it on Amazon, there's no price there. So should there be a price there, or have I put the price in the wrong place, or is it just not showing because the stock's not on?
You want to share your screen?
Yeah, I can. What do I see?
Have a look. It might not be that. It might not be live.
Can you see my screen now?
Just say it's starting to screen share.
All right.
Okay, so just click on the title, any of those titles. In fact, it does say out of stock, actually.
Yeah, I'm having a hazmat issue at the minute. So I got accepted for when I put in the hazmat because a cracker's seen as a dangerous item.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
They just applied it to, I put it on at the parent listing and they applied it to one of the child listings. So I had to submit then another one again. I assumed that it would apply to all of the child listings, but I have to do separate ones. So I was only able to do them today by the time Seller Central got back to me.
Right, okay.
So it'll take another couple of days now for them to get back to me. This is what comes up. Well, it says 4 days.
How long did it take for that child though?
How long did it take for what?
For the other one. For the one.
It took about 3 days.
Okay, well that's quite a while.
But at least I know it's fine now because I'm allowed to create a shipping label for that one, which is the red version of this. But I'm just going to wait and send them all the way together because at least I know it's going to be approved.
Yeah, exactly. So go So this is because there's no stock. This is normal when there's no stock there yet.
Uh-huh.
So
but there's
it
no
won't
price
show a
showing
price
anywhere.
there. It won't show a price until the stock's there.
Oh, right. Okay. That's grand. I was just wondering, was I maybe had I filled it in wrong? Because there's a lot of things that it mentioned price in the
Yeah,
listing.
it will. So in your Seller Central, if you cross out of that and go back to that other tab.
And
Yeah, just click on the one to the left of it on the tab at the top.
this
So,
one.
where it's got the Amazon. Yeah, there. So I think we talked last time about how it says $34.99, but you might have a sale price. It will only it shows in your Seller Central as your price and not the sale price. But the price is just, as I say, it's just because the stock's not in yet that it won't show everything on your listing until it's live.
Oh, that's okay then. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, no worries. In fact, while you've got your screen open, if you just go to the 3 lines at the top left, scroll up and go to the menu.
Oh, the menu. I need to. I can't.
Just scroll, just scroll it. And they go to those 3 lines in that top left corner, bring up the menu. If you go to advertising, and it's there, that vouchers is where you want to go for vouchers.
Yeah.
And so just really for everybody, and then there's a little video that shows you how to do it. Obviously, it's not allowing you to do it because you've got nothing live at the moment, but once it's live, you'll be able to create your first voucher.
Yeah.
There's a little video so you have to do it, but it's really straightforward.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you.
That's why you got your screen share, just to show everyone. Cheers.
Yep.
So well done though, because you've got a few products going in. So I've been so proud of you all. That's why I did the post earlier that I was working out from, because obviously I've done little polls on that as I've gone along, and I know some of you are still catching up. And I know Lorraine's had a real nightmare with her VAT and being in South Island and all that kind of stuff, but she's getting there now. She's found a solution, and this is the thing, it's having that resilience and just persisting, because there is always a solution, and we actually learn by doing. I don't know if you agree with that, because when you actually see everything in theory and you kind of understand it, but when you're actually doing it, you learn so much. It's hard to put that into words until you're doing it. It all starts making sense, and obviously the more times that you repeat the process. So yeah, I've been super excited watching everybody do, doing this in just getting so far in 2 weeks. It's freaking amazing. So it's so good. And I know obviously everyone always feels more, everybody wanted to make sure the product was going to be live on Black Friday, but to get this far doing what you're doing is really amazing. So just keep going. Don't think, oh, I'll throw the towel in now because I'm a bit behind, or this has happened at the weekend, or it was like me with having a funeral on Black Friday. It kind of couldn't have come at a worse time. These things happen, don't they? We're humans, and we're going to have life events that kind of interrupt our flow, but it's just keeping that end in mind and keep focusing on where you're going. So yeah, I'll stop waffling. Otherwise, I'll go into another motivational talk.
Anna, can I just ask you again about the fact of where you said about you increase the price? So you launch it at a price and then you increase it. When would you increase it? After you've got so many reviews?
I would just literally do it for a couple of days.
Oh, right.
So if you've got some people to order it, I would say to them, look, I've currently got it on a lower price, order it now, and then it's going to go up. It'll just help that launch period in that sort of 48 hours, really.
Thank you.
And to increase it, just go in your Seller Central again and...
Yeah, just have a different sale price, just have a lower sale price and then just increase it. What you can't do is increase it by more than 20%. You don't want to be having $9.99 and your price that you want to be selling at is $25.99. Do you know what I mean? You want, if you are doing something like that, you increase it by £2 every day. You don't want to do a massive big increase.
You know, when you do your listings, Anna, I'm probably going back a few recordings now. You put in your price, and then it does say sale price.
Yeah.
So is that kind of what you're saying now? Do the sale price? Yeah.
So when we just had Lisa's screen shared, I think it was £34.99, wasn't it, Lisa, that was showing? That's your price. And then you put a sale price on it. It doesn't show it on that listing of your inventory, but when you go in, you'll see that it says sale price from this day to that day. You can put in a time slot. I have a sale price all year round. So I think I said have it expiring on New Year's Eve, and that's just good practice, because once you start having more products, if you don't, suddenly your sale price will expire, and then you suddenly realise, well, how come our sales have dropped? And it's because the price has gone back to your price. So yeah, I have a sale price on all year round.
So it's, if I wanted to sell mine at £14.99, and then my say £12.99, then buy it as a sale price, they would buy that at £12.99, then, wouldn't they?
Yeah, so you would have your price is like your normal price, and you've got a sale on, but except that I have it on all year round. But I change that sale price at different times. So your price might be, like you say, £14.99, and your sale price could be £12.99, and then you could have a voucher code as well. So that means the listing will show £14.99 with a slash through it, £12.99, and then underneath it'll say £1 off. But people have to tick that box to claim that £1 off, as an example.
Right. So basically, if I wanted to still obviously sell it at £14.99, I'm going to have to put that price up first.
Yeah. So you have like £16.99 and then £14.
And then
But just be aware that in your inventory, just like we'll show with Lisa, it will share the £16.99.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
When you buy it, it'll be less, and then it means your Amazon fees are less as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Anna. I'm I'm not one of the superstars. I'm really behind, for several reasons.
You were waiting for the stock.
Well, I was waiting for it to come in on Thursday, and then when I went to buy it on Thursday, it's not coming until the 29th. So I'm set back again. So I think I need to do all the behind the scenes bits before it comes in, and just hope it's a nice product when it arrives. But I had a question, because of the way I'm doing it is a bit different, I think, to others. So UPC barcodes, would my product already have one because it's already been produced by someone else?
It may do, but are they already selling it on Amazon?
I have seen the brand selling on Amazon, Beachfield they're called, and I haven't seen this particular, well, obviously I haven't seen this one because it's not been released yet, but because that was my next question, was about what brand do I sell under? If I've not got my own brand labels, do I just take because they've got like easy peel adhesive labels inside the hats, do I just take them out and have them completely blank? Do I do them as Beachfield? I just don't know.
So if you had permission from that brand to sell it, then you would put it under that brand. If they don't, if they've already selling it on Amazon, what will happen is it will tell you that there's already a listing made with that UPC code. So I would have it at the moment, because obviously in the future you might have your own brand, but at the moment I'd have it as generic and then go for the Ginton exemption. And if it's got the brand anywhere on the item, you said it's got an easy peel label.
I think it's just, sometimes when you buy hats and things, they've got a label that invariably gets your hair caught in it, and you can just peel it off. It's a light tack label for the purposes of being able to replace it basically with your own branding.
Right, okay.
I think I could probably peel those out of all of them, so it's just got no label on at all.
Yeah. So maybe like just when they come, just show a picture. I know, because we're going to be finished, aren't we? You see, it doesn't massively matter to the customer. It's more for Amazon. So it just depends how big it is. If it's tiny and you can't really massively see it, you just don't want it in your images and your pictures.
I suspect it's on the inside.
Right, yeah, okay. So you can it's either or. You can take it off or leave it on if it's nothing massive.
But
But
if
if you put that brand name and that UPC code in Amazon, it's going to come up and say, this brand is already available and you can sell against it. And you don't want to do that. You want to do your own listing.
So just keep it generic.
Yeah.
No brand.
And then once you tested it and you're thinking, right, I'm going to do my own brand, that's when you can then ask Amazon for your own brand and come up with your own logo and get that put on.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
No worries. I also, you asked a question about the Amazon ads as well, didn't you? And I remember thinking, I'll answer that on the call. It was about the bids.
Yes.
I
was trying to find it because I knew I'd asked a question. I couldn't remember what my question.
I saw it late last night, but I was like, you know, when you like had this whole mixture of like crying and then also celebrating someone's life,
Yeah.
I was so wiped out last night. And I saw it. I should have commented and said that I'll answer it on the call. But I saw it, I thought, I'll answer that on the call, but obviously it was a subliminal message to you rather than commenting. But basically, when you're doing ads, there's a bid mechanism, and this is not just Amazon. This is if you do Facebook, Google Ads, Instagram. There's always a bid, and we don't know what other people are bidding. There's a suggested bid or there's a recommendation bid, but basically the person who bids the highest will get in first place. So your ad will appear on page 1 for that bid. Now, of course, at this time of year, the bids go up because more people are doing ads and everyone's fighting to be on page 1. So on that video I think you watched, I was talking about being the high. There's lots of strategies that we do, but the beginner strategy is being the highest bidder. Because I do now this. I was telling my coaching group, I do this strategy where I go for the lowest bid, but I put a daily spend of like 100 or 200, and that's a little bit risky for beginners, so I don't want to advise that. But there are other strategies once you get going into ads to do on Amazon as you start understanding the process. You're just going to be careful because you don't want your ads to run away with you and then you're spending all your profits on ads.
That's what I was thinking for this particular exercise. Presumably, we're not going down the ads route because we're not really going to be making much profit, are we? On
what? Yeah, exactly. You've got to work out what leeway you have for profit, and all I would do is maybe on that first. Basically, we imagine like again this traffic and conversion. The more traffic we get, the more explosive that launch is going to be. So if you had like a handful of people ordering it, and then you had a review came in, you may then want to do an ad for like, say, a week over Christmas, but just put a really low spend on it because all you're doing is you're just fueling that, traffic really. So yeah, you just want to be, I start my ads at like £10 a day, but then I advise my students in my Amazon 101 group to do it £5 a day. Because you're learning and you just don't want to be in a situation. I had it with someone where they put an ad on and then didn't log into their Amazon account for a couple of weeks and had a bill for like over £1,000. So you've got to be really careful. You just want to put a low spend on it of what you can afford. You just want to be checking it a couple of times a day to see how it's performing. So you may see that actually it's not even getting the clicks, or it's not, and that's why you may increase your bids then. So
with my product, if I'm thinking that if it works out, I want to brand my own and get it manufactured and all the rest of it longer term. Obviously, the idea of the game is to get reviews so people want to buy. Yeah. If I took this generic beanie hat and then wanted to brand it myself, would that have to, when it was branded, be under a separate listing so you'd lose the reviews that you'd already had?
So you can apply to Amazon to basically say this now is a brand, I want to, you know, you can create a case and say I'm moving it to a brand. Sometimes you can get down a bit of a tricky, you know, like conversation going back and forward, and you're talking to the Amazon bot, and you just think, you know what, I'll just create a new listing. Or, you know, the other day where we showed variations where you can submit, like it's an Excel spreadsheet. That's for any changes that you want to make on your listing. So you can submit. You could basically say that this brand is going from generic to a brand, but you'd have to provide images of the product branded. So as long as the product's branded, they'll allow you to do it.
Right.
So you can try, but sometimes you might keep going backwards and forwards. You think, you know what? Okay, I've got like 6 or 7 reviews on here. It's just going to be easy to start again. But so in theory you can. It's just sometimes, you know, you get the computer says no. It just depends how long it goes on. But I would say contact them and say, look, this product, this ASIN is now a brand. Show the image and say, please, can you tell me how I can update this listing? They'll normally say you need to submit one of the product Excel. What I'm talking about? I wanted to say product plans. The product uploads for a correction. So yeah, in theory you can, but sometimes Amazon, you know, it gets a bit stuck. So
Right.
I would just base it on how many reviews you've got.
Well, let's just see what happens first.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then the longer term is to have a trademark. So once you start saying having multiple products, you can get a trademark, and then that's really quick to update Amazon because they know you're serious. They can check with the trademark. Websites check that you've got, because you get a number for your trademark. And then that's really easy to update. It's just a bit more tricky when you're saying to Amazon, this is a brand, and they're like, prove it. You know, you can have a few little conversations going back and forth with, but you're just going to have an image of that product. And actually, they prefer images off your phone rather than if you've done it in Canva. I've had it where they were like, that's, you know, that product's been, you've photoshopped it type of thing. Oh. So if it's got your hand on it, you know, if you've got a finger on it as you're taking the photo, they like that because they know that it's an authentic image.
Right.
And do ads work, paid ads work on the books as well?
Yeah. So the same thing with, you've got your keywords, you know, in fact I've done your keywords. So yeah. You've got your keywords all there. And then once you've had that sort of launch day or 48 hours, you can then put an ad on to boost it, and it works exactly the same.
Thank you.
So Joe's saying, what does that mean being the highest bidder? So imagine that there's so different key. You know, when we did the Jungle Scout keywords, it said easy to rank, difficult to rank. The ones that are easy to rank, the bids are lower than the ones difficult to rank. And the reason why the difficult rank are, so for the example of yoga mat will be difficult to rank. Eco-friendly yoga mat for women with a bag will be easy to rank. So the longer the phrase, the more specific the niche is easier to rank because it's less competitive. And so the more competitive keywords are higher bids, are higher bidded keywords because everybody's fighting to be number one on yoga mat. And so people will pay a higher bid to be seen on page one for yoga mat. But then you might think, well, you know what? It's like £2.50 a click. I only need 3 or 4 clicks, and like my yoga mat's only 25 quid. Do you know what I mean? So that's why it's better to focus on those easier ones, going back to being like a big fish in a small pond rather than a small fish in a big pond. You can, you know, your clicks can get carried away if you're trying to go for those short tail keywords that are difficult to rank. But the first ad that you would do is an automatic ad, and Amazon will pick the keywords for you. And that really does help your listing get a little bit more anchored. And then you can see the reports of which keywords people are buying from. And if you've done it's a good test to see that you've done your listing correctly. Because if you look at the report, so you do an automatic ad, you're not picking any keywords, you're just basically saying, I want Amazon to pick all my keywords. And then from that data, you decide which keywords you're going to focus on, because some you might think are not appropriate. Because it might be that you're doing an eco-friendly yoga mat and you're noticing that they've picked yoga mat, and actually there's loads of yoga mats and you want really eco-friendly yoga mat because that's more appropriate for your product. So then you do a manual ad with those keywords that you've seen from the data that are working, that are clicking and getting the sale, versus the ones that are too general. Again, like you want the more specific, easier to rank ones rather than difficult to rank. But the first ad you want to do is that automatic one, because Amazon will pick all the keywords based on the keywords that you've done in your listing. So it's a good test. If you notice on your report, you've got all these really weird keywords, you're like, actually, I think I've done my listing wrong. I've not got the right keywords in here, because Amazon will pick them based on the keywords that you've put in your listing on that automatic ad.
Because you said something in the training about when you get the report back from Amazon, and if they've done it themselves, the automatic Amazon ads, they give you a report back with the keywords that worked, and you can get new keywords that maybe you hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, so when you get the report afterwards, you'll be able to see which keywords customers have been clicking on. You'll be able to see which ones have converged to a sale as well. But Amazon will pick those keywords based on your listing, because that's the only information that they've got. So some of them might be appropriate, some of them might not, because they may have picked some of the short tail ones, which are, you know, quite wide and difficult to rank, and we want to focus on easy to rank ones. And so the next stage is then doing a manual one. But you can't do a manual ad and put keywords in there that are not in your listing, because it won't connect. So you have all the keywords that you pick on a manual ad have to be in your listing. So this is that whole thing of getting the keywords right. This is getting into a bit of an advanced session on keywords, but just think, if you've done your list, you get the keywords into your listing, and then when you do your automatic ad, that's going to anchor in all those keywords that you've done, and Amazon base that automatic ad on the keywords you've given them. They've got nothing, they've got nothing else.
So they can't find keywords for you that you hadn't thought of or surprised you then, if they're only taking the keywords from your listing in the first place.
Sometimes there's things that pop up, but it's generally around that. You know, like they might have some history from products that are in that category and basing it on the keywords that you've put in, but everything's going to be from what you have generated.
Yeah.
So I was working with a brand that was doing a supplement for singers to improve your voice, and there was nothing in the market that competed with it. Because everybody goes for, like, you know, lozenges and things like that. If they're a singer, or like a throat spray and things like, those were the competition. And they really wanted to rank for all of those keywords, like to compete with like throat lozenges and throat spray. And I was trying to explain to them that they need to get all of those keywords in the listing, because otherwise they didn't want to put those keywords in the listing, because that wasn't what the product was. But I was like, we can phrase it in a different way to basically say, this is, you know, this product's going to give you long-term relief rather than the short-term relief like lozenges and throat sprays, you know, in the description part. But they were having none of it. And it was a consultancy agreement where they were my client. So I explained to them that the ads might not work. And what happened was, all the keywords that came out were all around multivitamins that they were ranking for. We had to redo the whole listing, even though I told them that it would happen. And they kind of got it there, because it was a new concept in the market. So it was a difficult product anyway. Yeah, there was nothing competing with it. And, you know, Amazon was saying that it wasn't appropriate, the keywords that they wanted to rank. So you've just got to remember that the keywords that you put in the listing are really important to help you rank organically and also boosting it with a paid ad. So Leslie's saying, how much is a rough guide would we need to bid to get an ad on page 1 at this time of year? It all depends on the keyword. So Amazon will tell you, depending on the product, what bid that they recommend. So if you want to make sure you get on page 1, you go at the higher end of that recommendation. Because it's totally different depending on which product you're doing.
Did you say, Anna, that you're better to get a review before you do the ad? You did say that, I think, didn't you?
Different people, you'll hear different people if you listen to any Amazon people on YouTube and stuff like that. There's a guy that me and him do quite a lot of stuff together, and he recommends going straight in, doing ads without reviews. But I always do, and I've got like at least 1 review, because I think you're leaving money on the table a bit. Do you know what I mean? So really, it's like, get in orders, get at least 1 review, then put an ad on. But you want that succession quite quickly. You don't want to leave it a week, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, a lot of people go in quite aggressive, I suppose, without any reviews. And again, it depends on the product, because if it is something that people need right now, like if you were doing advent calendars this week, you may decide, well, actually, I'm going to put the ad on because people are just looking for advent calendars at the moment, and they might not be bothered too much about the reviews. Whereas generally, you know, an everyday normal product in a normal period, I would wait for a review before you put that ad on.
That's the same with the books as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Does it make a difference if your keyword phrases in your listing are separated by commas or not? So I separate by commas in the back end keywords, you know, like the search terms, but I do it by single words rather than the phrase. In your like title and your bullet points, it doesn't matter. Imagine it's like a computer with the data that's just picking up on those keywords wherever they are. So anybody that is stuck, Gail, I think you were going to ask a question, weren't you? At the beginning, you looked like you were going to ask something.
No, I don't think so. I was just a bit frustrated because 10 of my items arrived yesterday instead of Thursday, which was really good. And then I was going to do my shipping label at work today, and our Wi-Fi's down and everything's wireless, so I couldn't print my shipping label. But I can't post on Monday anyway, so hopefully, yeah, I've got 10 to go in next week. Still waiting on the other products.
What's happened with the tracking? Has it not changed still?
No, it's not changed. No, I don't know when I last got a message from Jing, but Olivia said that it was still on the plane awaiting customs.
I remember you saying.
So I don't suppose I'll get an update now till Monday anyway. So yeah, but I'll get those 10 in early next week. I'll just work on the images tomorrow and get that.
Yeah,
I've been working with Cheryl a little bit on that.
There's been previous years where I've completely missed Black Friday out of timing, and I've still completely sold out on a Christmas item. We've got 4 more weeks. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, and I've got my tracking now on the ones that have been shipped by sea, so I'll be able to keep an eye on when those are arriving. Hopefully for the new year. Yeah, so there's no point getting stressed. It is what it is, isn't it? You know, I think the product that I'm sending in next week, 10 of, hopefully I'll have the other 30 by the end of the week. So yeah, it's what it is. I've got too much going on in my other life. So
it's always a busy time of year for all of us anyway.
Rubbish.
It starts getting busy, and I think there's more stuff around families at this time of year, isn't there? There's loads of, like, I don't know, I always find like there's always family dramas at this time of year.
Yeah.
We just get, so there's more distraction of different things going on. It always gets busier as we get close to Christmas. But yeah, like you said, there's nothing you can. It's always that whole thing of like, what can I do about it? Well, actually, I can't do anything about it. So,
No. And I started on my next product for the cafe fabric thing. So I'm just working on that. I'm just reluctant to sort of spend too much more money until I start seeing a bit positive.
You want to sell the stuff from that.
I want to start selling it. Yeah. So hopefully if I can get something ordered sort of like first thing in January or even last week of December, I'll get some stuff shipped before the February nightmare in China.
Yeah. Cool, brilliant. So hopefully you'll get the Wi-Fi sorted for.
It's just annoying. So I don't have a printer at home. I just rely on work stuff. So it's just but it'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll get that done next week.
Yeah.
Joe's saying, talking about advent calendars, there's a Cadbury's advent and selection box in a shop near me. Oh, you were saying about the Cadbury's shop near you? They've got 20 and 30 would make a great bundle. How long will it take me to get permission to sell Cadbury's? But they say it takes 24 hours, 48 hours, but like the hazmat that, was it Lisa had? It was Lisa, wasn't it? Yeah. That, I was quite surprised that it said 4 days. So
4 working days. So nothing happens over the weekend, which is worse.
Yeah, exactly. So that's quite a long time. So you'll know when you submit it. So I would just get it. You're going to need an invoice to be able to apply for it.
I don't think that's a problem. But the invoice would be from the local shop, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be from Cadbury's itself.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. It's like Dimple's has done some Marks and Spencer's jewellery to get ungated in jewellery.
Right.
Just everything. Like sometimes it's like we're sort of everything's a little bit weighing up the risk because sometimes Amazon change the goalposts.
Yeah.
So just make sure it's only a small quantity you do. It's always best to test in a small way.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, with it being Cadbury's Advent and Selection Box, I mean, it's only now, isn't it, that it's not selling here because in the town where I live, there's not many English people.
Right.
But there's going to be loads of people in Tenerife and all sorts of places having Christmas, and maybe.
Have you seen anyone else selling it on the Spanish website?
Yeah, and expensive.
So just check that they are listed under confectionery.
Okay.
Because you could possibly spot another category. I'm trying to think what it could be, really. I think it's like I would just go onto Amazon and just try and apply for it, or just make a dummy listing because you can always delete the listing before you've done anything.
Yeah,
I do that all the time. And might not even end up sourcing that product, but I'm testing to see if there's any, anything changed with Amazon's end on a particular product. So I can create the listing and look at the process and apply it and get that application started. And it will say normally they want to see invoices of where you've purchased that item.
Right.
They're like a supermarket that sells it.
Yeah. And even Thornton's chocolates, I'm going out of my mind. It's like something I've never seen before in Spain. So, but the other thing, the negative thing about the Cadbury's is that it's, an advent calendar that's probably it must be A4 size or slightly bigger. But of course it wouldn't be very deep. I'm just wondering if that's just going to cost me a lot of money with.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is you just want to check. What I would do is the other listings, see if it allows you to sell yours, because there could be a block from Cadbury's. You might have to ask permission from Cadbury's.
Right.
So the listings that are already there, just search for them. So instead of adding a new product that's not sold on Amazon when you create your listing,
right,
just search for other Cadbury's items, anything that's Cadbury's.
Right.
Just see if it allows you to sell yours, or it might, if it says apply to sell, just click on apply to sell and just see what you've got to provide to apply.
Okay. Okay.
Because it could be quite good. Could be other things that you could do that Brits miss when they're in Spain.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, you could not get Cadbury's in Spain. Like, so I've got a friend here, you know, who's also English, and when we found it, we're like sending messages. I said, we're both like Cadbury's fanatics, and yeah, so it's just driving me mad seeing it there and thinking, well, next week it might even be discounted because it's not selling well. But it's
Right.
only because literally maybe in my town there's 5 English people, so
Right, yeah.
and they might not even know it's there. But down south on the Costa del Sol or places like that, there's flipping thousands, aren't there?
Yeah, exactly. I would do those things first though. Like,
Yeah,
wait, firstly, just see if you can sell on someone else's listing and see what
right,
the comments are. And then create your own listing, and then you'd have to apply to selling grocery.
right. Okay.
Sometimes at this time of year, they stop applications for things. So like toys and things like that, they stop applications.
Right.
You know, like Lego toys, just because they're like, you know what, we've got enough people selling them, we haven't got any room in the warehouse for anymore, just for Christmas.
Yeah.
So things sort of, you know, change.
There's only about 5 or 6 that I saw listings of any Cadbury's products on the Spanish site. But yeah, I'll follow your advice. I've never thought it would be so difficult just to get a bloody listing.
Tell me about it.
Make it easy, do they?
Oh, I know. They don't.
Oh,
They don't. But remember, once you've done the listing, if you imagine if you like Kate with her hats, and she's thinking of creating her own brand. Once you've created it, you've done the images. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just at the beginning, like getting used to it and getting it set
Yeah.
up.
Well, you know, I had a variation on my baby pajamas.
Oh,
So
yeah.
in the end, I've just created multiple individual listings because it's just impossible to get. I know that in one of your trainings it says it's not the ideal way to do it. They do like Amazon likes variations, but on the
Yeah.
same listing. But it was just impossible. I couldn't do it.
Did you ask them about the product upload template? Did you send them?
I think me and Lisa sort of like conferred a bit with that. But I didn't really get much help, to be honest, and I just ended up giving up. I was just I just wanted a product up.
Yeah, no, I know. And the thing is, with this challenge and with Black Friday looming,
There wasn't time to spend a week working out how to get variations up. I don't mind. I mean,
what you could do is if one of those products that you've created, like one of them sells more than the others,
yeah,
you can convert that one to a variation listing by doing the product upload template. So if I've created a product and I've not done it as a variation, later on I think actually I'm going to now do this in, you know, it's a red one. I've decided I'm going to do it in blue and green. I'll do the product upload to create a variation listing that way. So you could close your listings on the one that's doing the best or selling the most, and you've got a few reviews. That's the one that, you know, you convert.
right. Okay.
Anybody else got any other questions? We are also going to be on a live Q&A tomorrow. So we're going to do the same time, 6 o'clock tomorrow, if that's all right with everybody. I mean, I can do 7 o'clock as well. So if anyone prefers 7, I just thought I can keep it consistent.
Anna, I know you've already answered my question, but I think the mine's just like, I haven't got one at the moment. My brain's gone. So when you said the branded theme, so the photos that I put on showed you, does that have to just have something round the edges? Can I use them photos?
Yeah, let me show you an example.
And one of the photos I had in there, it showed like a brush in there, which I haven't got in my bundle. Does that really matter?
Oh yeah, I think I saw that
Yeah.
comment. Or went
Those-
that.
I disregard that one.
So what is not included and what was on the photo? Was it just one item or?
Yeah, it's just like a couple of brushes on there. So I could just pick another photo, really, couldn't I?
Yeah, I think it's safer too.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, the only alternative is that you just put like your message on that page is all about relaxing in the, you know.
Yeah, that was all I was aiming for. But yeah, I'll have a look at some more photos anyway.
I've just reviewed Zoe's listing, so let me get that up.
And what happens if maybe your stock just doesn't even sell, nobody wants to buy anything, or just get friends?
That's all. That's all to say. I've never, since 2020, no, 20, it was 2023 now. No, since 2013, the last 10 years, I've been selling on Amazon. I've never lost money on a product. I have broken even.
Yeah.
Not lost money. So I have that as reassurance.
Okay.
What you would, if it is a Christmassy product, you've got to think there's cash in there with that product, isn't there? And you want that. That's how I see it. So I would reduce the price. There's lots of things you could put a bigger coupon code on. You could reduce the price.
Yeah.
Normally, price is going to be that thing. So if people have ordered it, you want to, chase them for that.
Yeah.
Okay. This is one of my students in the other Amazon Queen group. I just quickly got her product because I've just reviewed it for her. So
I see the theme is like the purple. It's all each picture, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is what I mean. So not on the first image, but if we go on to the second, just wait for it to load. Come on. So there's two things that you can see from here. So she's got this theme. It's going to take me ages to. I'll pick another one, but it's going to take me ages to keep clicking on them. But she's got this theme with the border around it. So she's got this wavy theme with a logo on it, and then she's also got the title here of this. This second one she decided to do is not a lifestyle one actually, but it's making more of a point about what's included in the pack. Because there's not only the towels, but there's also this scalp massager. So she's got the purple theme throughout.
Yeah.
I think she's a lifestyle, yeah. So, but she's also making a point on here that your hair's going to dry naturally while you can carry on doing what you're going to do. You know what I mean? The benefit. Let me see if it just lets me load.
She's made a spelling mistake. Sorry, I'm an English teacher.
Where's that? Naturally, is it?
No, the dries.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It's IES.
I have to tell her that, yeah. Yeah, good point. So yeah, obviously that's a spelling mistake, but you can get the general gist of the theme.
Sorry, it's not. I don't want to take away from the.
It's a good point. She's probably not spotted that. She has nearly sold out. She only launched this last week. She's nearly sold out. Really good.
Didn't stop. It doesn't make any difference then. Pictures speak more than the words.
but it's a good point because you don't see it, do you? Unless you,
No,
like,
when you look
my,
at something
my
so
sister's
much.
a German teacher, and she's always spotting English grammar stuff. What I would say though, don't go and search for her product to go and look at it, because remember, unless you're going to buy it, because you know, like we just
Yeah.
about the click and the conversions, you know what I mean? Although I think she's going to run out this weekend, but you know, still, watch the replay if you want to look. If you want to be reminded.
Yeah.
Although
I
it's
might have to get somebody to do that. I don't know if I can do that on myself on Canva, really.
But in Canva, if you put in Amazon product images, it will come up with different templates, and then you can place those photos that you saved in here.
Oh, right, okay.
So
Yeah.
for instance, you could have, that was a photo she took. So she put this in, she already had the theme with this and the top. So each one is the same. And then she put some points.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Your worst, your minimum, or not worst case, your minimum to do is to just put a strap line on each one, because you don't just want the images, you want to be making a point. So we discussed this one in the group because she had it slightly different, that we wanted to make a really quick image to basically say it's going to, you know, stop damaging your hair and make it less frizzy.
Mm.
Oh,
right, okay, yeah. I'll work on that tomorrow. Yeah.
Just to sort of give you a bit of an idea.
Thank you.
No worries. Yeah, so well, I will see you all tomorrow at 6 o'clock. You might have some other questions between now and then. But yeah, just reach out if there's anything else that you think of between now and tomorrow.
Anna, did you want to catch up with me today or tomorrow?
Oh yes, of course. I've said, you know what, also said to Eleanor about, Eleanor's got something that she wanted to show me on a listing, but yeah, we were going to catch up and just realised I don't think I got the silly woman I am. So can we, is that okay if we catch up after tomorrow?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, cool. Perfect. So Eleanor, if you stay, and then Kate, we'll speak tomorrow. Or can speak before it. It's up to you, let me know. It's probably easier to stay on after tomorrow, actually. Cool. All right then. I will see you tomorrow at 6.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.